Hey, what's up guys, Renu here. So I wanted to do things a little differently for this video. This one I'm not live recording. What I wanted to do today is go over this story. This is blowing up on Japanese Twitter. It's actually has a story over here in English side as well about a Japanese man who blew up on these Australian tourists on a ski resort. So we're going to watch the clip over here. And I would love to know what you guys think in the comments below, because there's a lot of people on both sides that are kind of weighing in on this situation.
Don't smoke. It's not it's private. Sorry, what story?
I beg your pardon.
But
I did not know.
It's
Don't yell!
It's so private.
Oh.
Hey, don't yell at her.
What?
Don't yell at her. She didn't know.
Didn't know?
No, it's her first time.
First. Look, it's so private. Assholes.
Fucking crazy, man.
What? What?
Well, you're going to touch her? I'll knock you out.
What?
You don't talk to women like that.
Look, women don't. Look, if you try to look nicely, you don't smoke.
Yeah, you don't talk to women like that either, mate.
Assholes.
So yeah, that's the whole clip. This is posted by Ezoe Ryo. This is his own tweet, and this is actually his own video as well. If you go to his Twitter profile, he has a YouTube channel. He has a lot of followers as well. If I go to his YouTube channel, you can see that he regularly posts his skiing activities. This is in Hakuba Happo 1 snow resort. It is a snow resort that is, I think, a little west of Nagano. Japan is a very popular tourist spot for Australians because there is a pretty close proximity between Australia and Japan. Now, personally, I do think that cameraman was looking for a fight. If you see over here, like, the escalation of events, pay attention to what happens in the beginning.
Don't smoke. It's not.
So first, he says, don't smoke. I don't think he said this necessarily in a very rude way, and he's approaching them, you know, trying to tell them, hey, these are the rules, don't smoke.
It's not. It's private.
It's private. It's private. This place is private, or there are rules basically you have to follow. And let's see what the woman says.
Smoke. It's not. It's private.
So she says, hey, it's sorry, right? She's apologizing over here. She's trying to be nice. She's saying, hey, I didn't know.
It's not. It's private. Sorry, what?
And immediately, this man blows up. He says, sorry, what? Sorry, like, comes out of nowhere. The man blows up, and the woman is just off guard completely and taken aback by the whole situation. In this tweet itself, he does make mention that these people look like hobos. If you see over here on this tweet and you translate it, he says that these people look like they are lower class. Why did they come to Japan? Well, I don't know. Maybe because, like, there is a reason for tourism, right? People come to Japan to vacation. People come to America to vacation. They come to other places to vacation. I don't think that necessarily is a wrong thing. We have another tweet from the OP over here as well. Oh, I do apologize. She was so ugly, I thought she's a man. And him over here at the very end expressing regret, basically not being able to say that. Because the man in the video tells Ezoe repeatedly to not talk to women the way he was talking to them. Obviously, being a woman doesn't give you the excuse to ignore rules or whatever, but I mean, I feel like it's pretty clear that the woman really didn't mean any harm by smoking there and just didn't know the rules. So I wanted to kind of break down some of the comments in response to this tweet. One tweet over here we can see from Cancel Johnny's. We've been talking about Cancel Johnny's a lot in the past. Cancel Johnny's, again, is a bigger Twitter account that seems to primarily make its content around nuisance streamers, and obviously had to weigh in on the situation of foreign, not streamers, but foreigners coming to Japan. He says over here, saying I didn't know or I don't understand only works for elementary school kids. If you're going to get defensive and lash out, then get out of Japan, which I think is pretty off base. If you see over here, the woman is like, yeah, she doesn't know, and sure, like, that doesn't necessarily excuse breaking the rules, but she doesn't seem like she means harm by it, like, at all. She's willing to correct her action, and she's also apologizing for the situation wholeheartedly. Here's another comment in favor of Ezoe here, saying, they probably think that they can do whatever they want in Japan, including drinking alcohol outdoors. Which, I mean, I don't know exactly what the rules are for the ski resort, but I don't necessarily think as long as you throw away and dispose of your trash in the right places, drinking in like on a ski resort, I don't think it's totally bad. And honestly, we don't even know what this drink is. It does look like beer, to be fair, but it could be like a canned coffee drink. It could be an energy drink. I don't know if this is necessarily alcohol. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, I guess. Again, I don't really think is that big of an issue unless that's clearly stated somewhere in English that this is against the rules. That all said, I did think scrolling through these tweets that I would find more comments in favor of the cameraman, but thankfully, there were a lot of comments that were against the cameraman. So let's see this comment over here. The person filming keeps repeating asshole. That's just not good. Of course, the other guy is going to get mad. If you say that and those 4 words, anyone would snap. Don't they know any other English? Being told don't talk to women like that is only natural. Here's another tweet over here saying, it's good to call out bad behavior, but the way they spoke was aggressive from the start. Quite surprising. Is it because they were scared? This is no difference from an old man yelling on the train, talking about the OP over here, trying to assert dominance with terrible English out of nowhere. I get why they're angry, but it just looks like they're picking a fight. Do they really think this proves they're in the right? Their metacognition, probably another word for self-awareness, is seriously lacking. Am I the only one who thinks the way they spoke might have been a problem too? I feel like you can put someone in their place without using crude language. Since you're working so hard to protect Japan, wouldn't it be cooler to avoid lowering yourself to their level, trying to be a little more kind and lighthearted about the situation, and also correcting the OP's behavior? Here we have another tweet. It would have been better to warn them in more polite English. This isn't it. The way they were yelling with rude and crude English was just embarrassing to listen to. The British man gave a perfectly reasonable response, saying he wouldn't want that tone to be used when speaking to his wife. It was far too rude and leaves a bad impression of Japan. Now, look, I don't necessarily agree that Japanese citizens need to uphold like a good impression of Japan. Obviously, this man is angry. Obviously, this man is upset. And, for a decently good reason, hey, like you shouldn't disrespect this place. You shouldn't be going against the rules, which is smoking at this ski resort. That said, I don't think there's a lot of reason to just completely blow up in their face. I think this is completely over the line. Now, what does the English side think? So let's take a look at Drama Alert's tweet. Japanese man explodes on Australian tourists for not following the rules. Foreign tourists often say they love Japan because it's clean, the people are well-mannered, and it's quiet. Yet they don't make an effort to preserve those qualities. And now Japanese people are absolutely fed up. Here's what we need to think about. When even the usually calm and reserved Japanese get this angry, it's a clear sign they're beyond sick of these overseas visitors. If you're going to Japan, the least you can do is learn their basic rules and manners. This is actually kind of surprising because this person was one of the tweets against the cameraman that we reviewed earlier. So I think this person and this person are the exact same. And it does seem like this person tries to correct the cameraman's actions more in this tweet. Let me see what this tweet translates to. If it ends like this, they will just think that they were picked on by some strange people in Japan and won't lead them to them feeling remorseful. So a better way to win like this would be to make them feel ashamed of their actions and regret it for the rest of their lives, thinking, what a shameful thing we did. We were so foolish, which would do more damage. Which is an interesting take. It seems like this person definitely wants to side with the cameraman, but can't really, because the cameraman does kind of step out of line. Over here, though, I do think that he makes a very good comment about the situation in that Japan is and does seem to be very much fed up with foreigners coming in and basically disregarding the rules, not knowing the rules, and just kind of doing things to violate it without fully maybe giving a good faith effort to understand their rules. And I think this is entirely true. I think people, especially the Japanese people, are fed up. I don't think it necessarily excuses the actions of this cameraman over here, but it does speak to the sort of climate that Japanese people are having against foreigners. And I feel like this is something that is happening globally. I feel like a lot of people are looking for more reasons to kind of shut themselves up and basically isolate themselves from the rest of the world, which I think is incredibly sad. Australians are some of the worst tourists for Western standards, so we see a lot of people kind of sympathizing with the Japanese man. I agree with the Japanese man, don't like how he handled it, but you could also tell the couple was toxic and he was fed up. I don't think the couple was toxic at all. This seems very weird. The couple was toxic in what way? The man was actually, this man over here tried to de-escalate the issue. He only spoke to the Japanese man, the cameraman, very calmly, and he walked away from the fight. He only threatened the Japanese man when approaching them, almost past these snowboards over here. So I do think that everything this man did was very appropriate against the cameraman. Here we have a comment that says, to be fair, the lady did immediately say sorry, but I think the Japanese guy thought she was being sarcastic or something because he exploded even more after she said sorry, which might be a fair read on the situation. Maybe he did think she was being sarcastic, but being able to blow up like that so quickly without even understanding how the other person was talking, I feel like, is a little unhinged. I love Japan, but this isn't typical Japanese behavior, to be honest. Not from what I've experienced over the last 25 years. First, they're one of the largest markets for smoking in the world. It's commonplace. And second, when people break rules like that, most Japanese tend to just politely ignore it and mind their own business. I don't smoke and not for it. Just think this guy's reaction is not the norm you'd see in the country. Just watch any annoyance YouTuber video in Japan and you'll observe the usual reactions. Obviously calling out bad behavior, unallowed behavior that breaks the rules is totally justified. It's totally fine. But the moment this man starts to shout at the woman and escalate this issue beyond a reasonable way, right? I feel like that's where it gets into excess and gets a little ridiculous. This person's comment, I think it's a little weird because it's talking about how most Japanese people tend to react to these type of situations, which I would say is fairly accurate, but by no means do I think that Japanese people should act that way. Japanese people, anyone, should point out rule breakers and they should say, hey, you're not following the rules here. You're being a little rude. Can you put it away? But I don't think they should have blown up on this woman like that at all. I mean, you receive the energy you provide, even though I agree with him, the way he attempted to address it was ridiculous. There we go. Finally, someone who has some sense in this comment thread. So yeah, a lot of the English speakers do seem to be more sympathetic to the Japanese man. They seem to respect and honor Japanese culture. A lot of people are sympathetic to it, but I feel like that's the political climate from commenters of Drama Alert and the political climate in the US is that people look for a lot of justification to sort of isolate themselves and respect other countries and their right to sort of isolate themselves as well. Anyway, that's the video. Love to know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one.